Welcome back, my sisters, to another episode of Talk to Aunty Rosy Podcast. Today, I will be talking about that question that comes up a lot, which is, will I ever be good enough? Welcome to Talk to Aunty Rosy, the podcast that helps women who are healing by having deep conversations, giving practical advice and words of encouragement. Come on, let's talk about it. Now, for my first time listeners, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am Rose Jones, and I'm your host here at Talk to Aunty Rosy Podcast. And I am a survivor of self-hate, domestic violence, and childhood trauma. And I am currently battling PTSD, but I didn't allow any of that to stop me. I decided to continue my story and create a community for women in their beginning stages of self-healing. In this community, we help women with skill building. We give women valuable tools to use. We have educational programs, support, and so much more. On this podcast, I will be sharing with you my life experiences. We will have those deep conversations, and I'm also going to be showering you with love and support, and also giving you advice and encouraging words. If you are a woman who are trying to heal and need support and want love, then you are in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you will never miss an episode of Talk to Aunty Rosy Podcast. Now, let's get into today's episode where we'll be talking about that question and that feeling that I know we all feel at some point in our life. Will I ever be good enough? Let me start by telling you a story when I started to really think I wasn't good enough. I remember when I truly hated my stepsister, and now she's like the closest thing to a best friend. I consider her my blood, and I'm literally closer to her than people that I share DNA with. I can't nobody tell me that she is not my sister. The crazy part is that it wasn't even her fault why I hated her. I remember one day I was in the bathroom taking a shower, and I heard my mom and my stepdad talking in the other room, and I heard my name. So I naturally thought I was in trouble. So I wanted to hear what they were talking about so I can prepare my story, get that shit ready before other people, So I could start with my excuses. So I slowly creeped out the bathroom and to my mom's room. And when I opened the bathroom door, I noticed that my mom room was closed. So I put my ear to the door, and then when I noticed they was arguing about me, I was like, oh shit, I must have really fucked up. I had 1,000 thoughts running through my head, like about what I could have done. I was like, did I do my chores? My grades are good. What could it be? I was like so damn confused. Then I heard my sister dad comparing me and my sister body, asking my mom, why is Rose's body so underdeveloped? Well, that wasn't his exact words. His words was more like, my daughter is younger than your daughter, and she has bigger chest than your daughter. Why is that? My mom said, everybody develop at a different age. Why do it matter? Now, if I remember correctly, I wasn't like in 6th grade. So I was like 10 or 11. I really wasn't even thinking about my body at this point. I was just living life. So this made me very confused. I hurried back into the bathroom, and I started to look at myself and started to wonder why she looked the way she did it and I didn't. I started to compare my body to hers to the point that I got mad at her for developing faster than me. I grew a resentment towards her for something outside of her control. I literally made her life a living hell. I pushed her away from her because I overheard a conversation that I never should have heard. I started comparing myself. It literally took me several years to get over that hate that I had for her. Thank God that she was a forgiving person, because she is my ride or die right now, and I wouldn't know what to do without her. The problem here is that I allow someone else's opinion or thoughts about me change the way that I felt about myself. I allow someone else's opinion of me and my body changed how I felt about myself. I allowed their words to cause me pain and build up the hatred inside of me for someone who meant a lot to me. I let their words cloud my judgment and allow me to act out of jealousy and anger and hurt. Someone I loved for who I am for years, I let that conversation make me feel like I was not good enough. For years, I wondered why I never will be good enough. I hope I'm not alone in this feeling. Maybe you too. Constantly being reminded that I am not enough or good enough. I'm not smart enough or talented or capable or beautiful enough. Perhaps that question, will I ever be good enough, echoes through my mind and body as well. Because of these thoughts and constant reminders, you allow these feelings or that feeling of not being enough control your life and behaviors. You don't seek a promotion or ask for a raise. You tell yourself that you're not good enough to get anything. You continue to be in relationships that are not good for you because you think that you deserve what you get. You allow individuals to overstep their boundaries. Why don't you fight for yourself is the question I ask myself. Asking myself this question, I realized the feelings of not being enough was just the iceberg. It was much deeper than it appears. To help you understand better, I want to give you some of the most common reasons you might be feeling not good enough. First, self-perspective. Not feeling good enough comes from how you perceive yourself as a person. With low self-esteem and self-worth, you frequently seek external validation, which is one of the reasons why you may place yourself in toxic and unfulfilling relations, because you don't see your worth and you don't appreciate yourself as the person that you are. It's about constantly lowering yourself, fearing that you make mistakes and feeling like you don't deserve wonderful things in life. You are not only constantly comparing yourself to others and practically those who appear to have it all together, but you also assess your worth by what you do rather than who you are. You may even strive to sabotage your own success or acquire things so that other people will think that you are worthwhile. 2, abuse and trauma in the past. Past trauma or any form of abuse are strongly tied to your self-worth, especially past trauma, which are difficult to overcome. When you are abused, it is natural to assume that you are powerless or bad. You may feel worthless as a result of the things that you didn't do or had no say in. It's normal to feel like a victim when someone abused you physically or verbally. But if you do not work through your childhood trauma, especially those that caused by bullying and rejection, they will continue to affect you as an adult. To build healthy perspective of yourself and the world, you must make a conscious effort to shift that negative thought pattern. To build a healthy perspective of yourself and the world, you must make a conscious effort to shift your negative thoughts pattern. Now, number 3, parenting and unbelonging. Did you grow up in a household where your needs were never met and you felt unnurtured, supported, and unconditional love by adults around you? If this was the case, chances is that you never felt like you are not enough as an adult. Or if you did feel like this, there were specific standards to meet or regulations that you had to follow to receive love and care from your parents. If this is the case, you are more likely to struggle with the feeling enough as an adult. Why do your parents create these expectations? It's typically used to assess a child and learn how to operate in society, but it usually backfires and makes us feel not good enough and inquires when you don't reach their expectations. Feeling inadequate either make you break you, or it sure makes you rip through those dark clouds that lurks around you. Are you ready for the challenge? While your road to self-love is continuous, here is a few things I try to remember when that feeling of not being enough comes up. 1, people who you compare yourself to compare themselves to others. We all compare ourselves to other people, and I can promise you that those who appear to have everything Do not. When you look at other people, we compare and understand rather than judgment and jealousy. You may see them for who they are. They are wonderful, flawed human beings facing their same universal issues too. Your mind may be accident liar. Don't believe everything that you think. Those words completely change how you feel when I get nasty or discouraging thoughts. Our only thoughts. Giving negative thoughts so much power is harmful and tiny. 3, you need love the most when you don't deserve it. That's when recent reality, when we anger and shame, anxiety, depressed, it's very difficult for us to accept love and understand how others love. However, accepting the above fact changed that viewpoint. Let me realize that love is the greatest gift I can receive during such moment. Number 4, you must understand and accept now before you achieve and be content with later. One thing I have learned about making changes and climbing the ladder is that you can't be completely content with where you headed until you accept, acknowledge, and appreciate where you are. Accept and make peace with where you are in your journey towards something new and be a lot more present, rewarding, and enjoyable. Accept and make peace with where you are, and you are on your journey towards something new, and you will be a lot more pleasant, rewarding, and enjoyable. Number 5, concentrate on your progress rather than your perfection, and how far you come rather than how far you still have to go. The burning desire to be perfect is one of the leading causes of self-loathing. When we fall short of perfection and success, we feel inadequate and worthless. We don't seem to understand is that striving to our dreams and being ready to put ourselves out there are victorious in themselves, no matter how many times you fail. Instead of punishing yourself for stumbling backwards past yourself on the back for trying, making progress, and getting this far. Number 6, you can't love yourself if you hate yourself. Telling yourself that you are a failure will not make you any more successful. Telling yourself that you're not living up to your full potential will not help you achieve your goals. Telling yourself that you are not good enough and unloved will not make you feel more worthy of love. I know it sounds almost too simple, but the only way to achieve self-love is to love yourself, regardless of who you are, where you stand, or whether you know you want to change. After years of hating my sister, I learned to let my guard down and started to let her in. I started to get to know her by having real conversations with her. I slowly took my jealousy and glasses off and started to see how much value she was bringing to my life. Over time, our relationship got better, and that's why I ask you to believe me when I say that you are enough in your current state. And every time you remind yourself of this, it will make it a little bit simpler to love yourself. Embrace the positive side. You are a strong person who has the courage to admit something isn't quite right. Not only that, but you are also prepared to fix it. All you need to do is calm down your thinking and gradually restore the optimistic self. Remember, treat yourself with additional love and care. You are feeling down and questions will ever be enough popped up in your head. No, before I go, I want to invite you to our Facebook group called Let Rose Speak Sisterhood. This is not your typical group. We have weekly challenges, monthly live sessions where I answer questions you have about self-healing, self-love, and personal development. In this group, we motivate each other, we support each other. This group is a no judgment zone. And the best part is that it is totally private and free. So if you want to join this group, you can click the link in the description, or you can look us up on Facebook in the Facebook tab and just type in Let Rose Speak Sisterhood. And that's it for today's episode of Talk to Aunty Rosy Podcast. Let me know if you liked the video by leaving a comment down below, hitting the like and subscribe button, and switch the notifications on. Thank you for watching.